I wanted to make some burgers on the Blackstone E-Series griddle, so I thought that I would do a video, and I think I'm going to make two different kind of burgers. And for the patties, I'm going to be using some of these prime rib beef steak slider patties that come from Sam's Club. And I've used these several times before on some burgers, and I like these for a specific reason. And that is, I like my hamburger patties to be on the thin side, similar to what Steak and Shake uses. And with the slider patties, I can take these and roll these out a little bit and make them thinner. I would rather have 2 or 3 thinner patties rather than just one thicker patty, but that's just my personal preference. So if I start out with the slider patties, I can roll them out thin and then I can stack them. And I've kind of tried and failed to make real smash burgers a couple times on the Blackstone before. So now I just kind of cheat and I just roll them out thinner before I start. So to do that, I'll just use some wax paper and a rolling pin. And the burgers I'm going to make today are just going to be double pattied burgers. So I'm going to need 4 altogether. And I'm going to cook the burgers separately because I'm going to do something different with the second burger. All right, I'm just going to make sure that these are all kind of held together right. And I just want to roll these out pretty flat, going in both directions. Let me move this up a little bit. Nothing too complicated. Okay, I'm just going to do these first 2 for right now. All right, I'll move these to the side for the time being. I'll turn the Blackstone on. And going up to, and I did mention this before, but I've been cooking most things at least starting out at 500 degrees because it helps compensate for the cool down that the food causes when it hits the griddle. So while that heats up, I'll put just a little salt on my patties and a little pepper. For both of the burgers today, I'll be using some brioche style buns. And the first burger will be a mushroom and Swiss burger, so I have some fresh mushrooms. Not too many, since I'm only cooking for 1. And a couple slices of deli sliced Swiss cheese. Okay, the Blackstone is not quite there, but it's close enough for me to start the burgers. So first, I will put down some butter on this side for my mushrooms. And I'll put those on. Get that straggler. And I will put my patties on this side. It actually didn't cool down quite as much as I thought it would. But I wanted to do something a little different on this video because the Blackstone, it just screams burgers. And it's real easy to throw some hamburger patties on here and make a cheeseburger, bacon burger, whatever. So I did want to do something a little different. That's why I'm going to make the Swiss and mushroom burgers. And I'm going to go with the fajita burgers. If I was using thicker patties, I would take the temperature down just a little bit, but I really like the crust that I get on the outside of the burgers. So there's really not much worry about these burning on the outside, but not having the inside done. I know some people say you should only flip a burger once. I don't buy into that. I think you should flip the burgers as much as you want to flip them. And I guess I could be considered a flipper because I do like to flip my burgers more than once. I'll be using the new scooper spatula to turn my mushrooms. And I'm really liking this. It's not for everything, but for some stuff, it's working really well. Okay, let's turn these one more time. And since I am using the slider patties and rolling them out, the diameter of these burgers are not going to be that big, but they should be okay for these smaller brioche buns. Next, I'll put my cheese on, let it start melting. Looks like my mushrooms are ready to come off. I don't want to pulverize these things. So let me try to get them on the bun and keep them there. Alright, I think my burgers are done, so let me stack these patties. So here's my mushroom and Swiss burger. It's done. So now I'll move on to the fajita burger. For these, I'm going to take some fajita seasoning and I'm going to sprinkle it onto each of the little slider patties. And then I'm going to flip them over and do the same thing. I'll cover these up with the wax paper, and next I'll just roll them out. I'll put some butter down on the griddle. And I have just a little bell peppers and onions here that I'm going to be using as a topping. Not very much, just enough for one burger. And I'll put my patties onto this side. Let me move my onions and bell peppers around just a little bit. I don't think that's the right spatula for that job. To top the fajita burger, I'm going to be using some sour cream instead of something like mayonnaise, and I'll put some on the top bun. I know some people top these with guacamole, and I've done that before, but I really kind of like it with the sour cream. I think it adds a little bit different layer of flavor onto these burgers. All right, time to flip the patties. And I'll move my peppers and onions around a little bit more. Starting to get a little bit of char on them, and that's kind of the way that I like them. Okay, everything is just about done. So let me try to get these peppers and onions off the griddle and onto the top of the bun. Maybe I'll have as good a luck with these as I did with the mushrooms. Probably not, but we can hope so. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's see, I put it upside down, but let's turn it the right way. Okay. And there is my fajita burger. Maybe a little bit different take on it than most people, but I really like this burger. As much as I like the mushroom and Swiss, I kind of like this one a little bit more. So just a couple different burger ideas if you're looking for something a little bit different that's really not that hard to make. And that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.